extensive expertise in the fields of data science and technology. Overall, Dr. Sunil's multifaceted career and numerous achievements reflect his.
Now, I request.
Thank you, Yudhika. I am Meghna. I feel honored to introduce Dr. Raghavendra Eramshetty, CEO of Art Plus Analytics UK. Dr. Raghavendra Eramshetty is in private sectors in United Kingdom. He has a passion for innovation coupled with an ability to leverage emerging technologies. In the past projects at Art Plus Analytics, he worked on developing the solutions for UK central government, building the data platforms and deep learning models for built 2 products from the scratch on predictive analysis and machine learning models called R plus Demand Sense and Petaboard. He played a key role in developing natural language processing models which were built for Virgin Holidays and Marker and Spencers in 2012. He did his PhD in Smart Energy Information Management System for SmartGrid. As an angel investor, he invested in 5 startups which are currently working on AI, generative AI and blockchain. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Meghna. I am delighted to invite Srimati Himabindu Vejala, Senior Manager of Security Analytics at OpenText India R&D onto the dais. Now, I request Supriya to introduce Srimati Himabindu Vejala to the audience.
Thank you, Taruna. I am Supriya and it's my honor to introduce to you. Journey in the realm of cybersecurity has been marked by excellence and dedication. Hima Vejala is a highly experienced security evangelist, technologist, cybersecurity engineering leader, mentor, global speaker, and author with rich background spanning over 2 decades. She has led NTS Digital Forensics at OpenText and is the founder of CyberSea, actively contributing to a global initiative focused on empowering, motivating, and mentoring professionals in cybersecurity, cyber law, cyber forensics, and cyber psychology. As a renowned figure in the cybersecurity community, Hima has delivered impactful motivational speeches at global events and universities, covering a range of topics from security and cyber forensics to cyber security, effectively bridging the virtual and real worlds. Her exceptional contributions have earned her recognition, including being honored as a Lady Legend in 2018 and receiving the International Microsoft MVP Award 8 times since 2006 for her outstanding voluntary contributions in technology. Hima has also been awarded for her excellency in cybersecurity by Sri Sajjana IPS and recognized as the best leader in cybersecurity by ITTV at Telangana Hub in 2023. A distinguished global speaker, Hima has participated in various technical events, both in person and virtual, including conferences like Women Tech Global, Startup Impact Summit, CyberX, Cybersecurity Career Conference, DevOps India Summit, and many more. As a core member of the Data Security Council of India, she actively contributes to initiatives in data security. Hima is also technical committee member at the National Cyber Defense Research Center under the Government of India. Notably, Hima holds the Guinness World Record for her exceptional performance in the Windows 8 App Fest Hackathon in 2012 at KTP World. Beyond her technical expertise, she is a dedicated mentor participating in various programs such as the Executive Women's Forum, International Cyber Security Mentorship Program, and serving as a DevOps Ambassador at the DevOps Institute. Hima's passion for giving back to the community is evident in her commitment to advocating for women in computing, showcasing her dedication to fostering growth and diversity in the cybersecurity domain. We are fortunate to have you here, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Supriya. The next distinguished person is Dr. D. Srivallabha, Principal Data Scientist at Tiger Analytics. I am delighted to call him upon to the dais. Full compliment. Now I request to the gathering. Thank you, Ritika. I am Neena. Take the opportunity to give a brief introduction of Dr. D. Vallabha. Sri Vallabha is a principal data scientist at Tiger Analytics. He holds a BTech in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Madras and a PhD in Aerospace Engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He also worked as a postdoctoral fellow at IIT Madras in statistical analysis of liquid sprays. His areas of expertise are machine learning, statistical analysis, reduced order modeling, and simulation of physical systems and scientific computing. As a part of this role, he leads teams solving business problems in various industries like retail, transportation, and manufacturing. His current projects are focused on reinforcement learning, generative AI, graph neural networks, and causal modeling for various industries. His publications illuminate his expertise and pioneering contributions in the realm of fluid dynamics and spray technology that represent a cornerstone in the field, shaping our understanding and paving the way for advancements in spray technology. Sri Vallabha's outstanding achievements were celebrated at the highest levels. His academic brilliance was further acknowledged with the Best Student Award from AV College of Arts, Science and Commerce in 2002, highlighting his exemplary performance and commitment of learning. Sri Vallabha emerges as a beacon of academic excellence and dedication to learning. His impressive accolades, including the Pratibha Award and Best Student Award, reflects his unwavering commitment to achieving excellence in his academic pursuits. With a proven track record of outstanding achievements are invaluable, and his future endeavors are sure to inspire and lead to further success. We are honored to have you in our midst, sir. Thank you. To request Dr. Sunil Kumar Uppala to moderate the panel discussion.
Thank you. Am I audible? Yeah. So yesterday, some of you are there in the panel discussion, right? Have you attended? So what we are going to today, the title shows, right? How to be part of AI revolution. I am sure you are coming from different branches. How many of you are AML or CS? Some of you, right? But there are other branches also, right? It's not, the topic wise, it's not only for the CS student, because nowadays, AI is touching every industry. Being the students here, and we are working from the industry, what we are going to bring together, and we have diversified background, as you see here from the panelist's background. So we have Hima, who is a security expert, and we have Dr. Vallabha, who is working as a PDS, Principal Data Scientist, who is working in NLP and Gen AI, and we have an angel investor. How many of you know who is an angel investor? Some of you, not many of you, right? If you have an interesting idea, he promised that if you like, he will ready to invest, right? So some of you may be for a startup, right? You need a support, right? The angel investors are those people who can support you, right? So what we are going to do in the next maybe 45 minutes, I don't want to take too much time, so already we have taken 10 minutes for the introduction. Thanks for the kind introduction though, right? So one common thread for all of the panelists is they started very humble way and they reached these great heights. So it will be inspiration to all of you. So we are planning to cover some 3-4 topics, and we plan to include you, and if you have any specific questions in between, not towards the end of the session, in between you can also ask questions, whatever is in your mind, whether it's related to the jobs or related to the technology, how you want to be part of it. So to start the discussion, AI revolution, right? So AI is not new. So some of us, maybe I might have done one course, or maybe Hima, you also might have done one course during our BTech as an AI. That time machine learning, deep learning, these many courses are not there, right? But the technology wise, it is at least 50 years old or even more. Right? But in the last 10 to 15 years, we have seen some subset of AI, which is machine learning and deep learning, which is proving to solve the real world cases, not just only in the research part. That's where we started a new department in AI, ML, data science and all. Right? And we are talking about this topic irrespective of the branch. So what is AI? If you start very simple way, I'll take the inputs from the panelists as well. In one simple line for me, AI means mimicking the human actions, right? Whether how you are going to achieve, whether it's machine learning, deep learning, reasoning, there may be different ways of talking about it. And second point I want to start with is we are right now in a AI narrow intelligence. That means whether it is a generative AI or a discriminative AI for a decision making, for a specific problem we are going to solve that. Right? right? So we have good success stories across the industries. And we are marching towards, if you remember yesterday panel discussion as well, Elon Musk is introducing some neuro chip in the brain, Neuralink, right? So we are trying to understand how the human functions or human brain functions, and we are marching towards artificial general intelligence. It will take some more time, right? So the third stage maybe is artificial super intelligence. It may take tens of more years, right? Not to worry much. But as we are speaking now, maybe in our industries we are talking about Sophia, who is getting a citizenship from a robot point of it, right? And we may work, and robots may be our colleagues. Right? What we are discussing in the panel discussion just before this panel, it may not replace humans immediately. It takes a lot of time and effort from our side as well. At the same time, we are going to discuss a lot of opportunities and challenges in this revolution of AI. So to start with, what AI means to each one of you. Maybe let's start with you, Dr. Vallabha.
Yeah, can you hear me all? Yes. Yeah, good afternoon and thank you very much for the opportunity, college and the organizers and everybody. So if you ask me what does AI mean to me, right? For those who are looking at it for the first time, maybe the students who are just coming up in their final year, third year, they might think that this is something that has come into the world very recently. Like Sunil was pointing out, the technology was there already. But just to give you some examples, if not this is the only example, but if you go back a few hundred years, when the world moved from say firewood to steam engines, right? Earlier carts were driven by horses, hundreds of years ago. Then steam engine came. Steam engine was a revolution at that time, and even the horse owners had the same doubt, what will happen to my life? And then from steam engines came combustion engines. After petroleum was discovered, we all have cars, buses today that are running on petrol, diesel, which then replaced the steam engines. Similarly, typewriters came, and computers are replaced typewriters. So technological advancements keep happening in the civilization. Every few years, every 50 or 100 or whatever years, so technological advancements keep happening. And to me, this is one such advancement. It is taking our productivity one more step higher, because many other things are already there which are solving our problems. This is next level problem that somebody has helped us to help solving. Okay, but if you ask me, will it replace humans? I wouldn't say it will replace humans, because there are two things. One is just repeating mechanical work. And when the mechanical work is to be done by somebody, you are better off doing it with a computer. That's what we all do, right? If you want to do calculations today, I give you some 5-digit multiplication. You don't want to test your brain power, you may pull up your phone and use a calculator to be correct and to be quick. AI is one such thing to me. I don't think it will replace any human potentially in the future. The only thing is that the level of knowledge expected from the humans will increase. You can't just be where you are and say, let me do my job, because part of the job would involve mechanical work, which the AI will eventually replace. You have to find yourself new work or new space to grow. That's all I can say. And one small example again is think of the same thing, horse carts owners being worried when steam engines came into picture. Okay, it's a replay of the same scenario that we are seeing today in a different world. That's all. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone had a nice lunch. Yeah, please respond. Okay, I think you are active, seems to be. So, I think I don't want to tell about a standard industrial definition. What is AI? Hope, how many guys are using AI in this room? Please be interactive, because I want to be more interactive and I want to be participate in this discussion. I want to share a lot of interesting things. Be interactive. How many guys are using artificial intelligence currently? Please raise the hands. Actually speaking, everyone is using it. Even if you see, when you wake up in the morning, it says, let's say you travel from this place to another place, it says, hey, good morning, and today is 21 degrees, and it is very hot weather today, or it is a cold weather today, and it wishes you according to that. Every mobile has an artificial intelligence. We are not doing anything new here. It's already exists, as Mr. Sunil said, that this artificial intelligence is existing way back 50 years back. Actually speaking, how many guys knows about R? R language? Okay, so the R language was built in 1984 or 1985. if you see my company name called R+, so actually my name is Raghavendra, I just mimicked it. So I just said that R and R, myself only invented R. So that's how I named as R+ Analytics. So it's an extension version of R algorithms. So all algorithms is a very simple. If you give a linear regression, it will say, oh, today is 10 degrees, tomorrow will be 11 degrees, or it might be a 9 degrees. So it's a very simple. It's not a rocket science. It's a easy to learn, easy to understand. No need to worry about you guys will be losing the jobs. Let me tell you about how many you guys know about AGI. How many you guys know ChatGPT? Please raise the hands. I think be interactive. Let's have a fun. Okay. So you don't know about an AGI, right? So AGI means called an artificial general intelligence. It's nothing but it's the word look like it's a bigger word than AI, adding another letter called general. If you see the Elon Musk, you know how many top 10 billionaires in the world? Or who is the top 1 billionaire? Elon Musk. Yeah. Now he might be number 2 or number 1. So how many guys you know about Tesla? See, he just came into the right time. He used some basic algorithms and he became a world billionaire. How many guys want to become a billionaires in this classroom? Please raise the hands. If you are not able to raise the hands properly, you can't become a billionaire, right? So, intelligent expert. So to conclude, what is the definition of an artificial intelligence is it's very simple. We are mimicking the human body or human actions. So tell me here, see a simple question. How many guys have a common sense here in this room? Please be pro-interactive. Okay, no need to be like a class and lecturer here. So I hope everyone who some people doesn't have a common sense. So the God is gifted us as a common sense, right? So everyone has a common sense. I'm telling you, to create a common sense for a robot, you know how many years it takes from now? Please guess. Just to create a common sense for a robot, it takes another 15 years from now. So whoever discovers it in this room, for example, just adding an algorithm of common sense, you can become a billionaire. See, I am trying to motivate here. Please respond. Anyone want to create a common sense here? So let me give a small example. Sir, please cut me if I am taking more time. I want to be more interactive. Okay. So here, let me take a small example here. What is meant by a common sense? For every person has a different common sense. Let me give a small example. Okay, like myself and Mr. Vallabh are sitting together here. We are sitting together here on the stage. Let's say there is some threat here. Someone had a pistol there and he is trying to target me and Vallabh. Okay, so let's say Vallabh is ready to go for it and I want to run away from that threat. So what is meant by threat here? Every person, he has a common sense, myself has a common sense, someone comes with a pistol, so immediately I will run away. Yes or no? Oh, this guy is going to shoot me, so I want to run away from that. But he is ready to step in. So he is as a human, I am also human. But what is the difference means, I'll just add you, he might be an ex-military man. So a military officer, whenever he sees a threat, he tries to go and attack it. For example, in the borders, a soldier, if you are standing in the border, let's say in Pakistan border, what do? Whenever any threat is coming, what he does, he steps in front of the threat and he go and attack the threat. But whereas as a common person, I will run away from that threat. It's a common sense or not? But there are various use cases. To conclude it, to identify a common sense in a military programming itself is a multi-billionaire, a case study. So I am saying that case study varies by varies. Everyone thinks that, oh, I am not good at writing an algorithm. It is not relevant to me. I am telling you, whether it's a civil engineer or electrical engineer, anyone can enter into an artificial intelligence, which is called as AGI, which is called artificial general intelligence. General means mimicking a human body like a common sense. So next 70 years, It's a beautiful journey. Whoever want to get into an artificial intelligence is just mimicking the human body. I will ask you one more question. Our brain, how much storage data can store? Please raise hand and please tell me. Definitely, your organizers will give you something. Yeah, we'll give this bouquet. Yeah, come on.
2.5 petabytes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Please come.
Please come. Yeah, please be pro-interactive, guys. Instead of sleeping or might you had a nice lunch, be pro-interactive. Because I am here, I traveled nearly 4,500 miles. I want to be interactive session.
Thank you for that wonderful insight. We will just give a bouquet to her to encourage. Please. Come. Yeah.
Give that water you are doing.
No problem. Then we will. I'll just conclude. Yeah, please.
So she said our human brain has a 2.5 petabytes of data. You know how many knows the guys about petabyte? Okay, if you see, you might saw terabytes, gigabytes. The next one is called petabyte. In my introduction, I discovered one product called Petavolt. How I discovered this? Peta means petavolt, peta data. And Usain Bolt, how many guys you know Usain Bolt? So many people. So peta plus Usain Bolt equal to petavolt. So I took peta and Usain Bolt, I made a petavolt. So I'm saying I'm a very common ordinary person. I got only a 70-75% in my bachelor in BTech. So I'm saying everyone can discover a lot of things. It is a byproduct is you can become a millionaire or a billionaire. Okay, I'm here as an angel investor as well as a CEO of a company. If you guys want to interact with me later, feel free and be interactive. Thank you, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much for making this successful. I will not tell you what is AI means for you, at the same time being an expert in security. How do you see the role of security in AI? Yes.
Thank you. I think it's very tough to moderate or be part of the panel after the lunch. So as Raghav said, we want it to be more interactive. So please feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. And thank you everyone, because if you ask me what's AI, I'll repeat the same. It's just mimicking the human intelligence, right? So, but does it replace humans? Why? Because we need someone who operates it, right? Who program it, who generates the LLMs. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, LLMs, this is new buzz, right? ChatGPT. So everybody wants to learn AI, okay, because it's easy for me to get a job with very lucrative package, right? So that's not how it should be. I think we should try to learn the subject first as students, right? So what is AI? How does it is used? In common man's life, what are the different kinds of use cases that is used in AI? It is not limited to single domain. AI is needed everywhere. It is needed in schools, colleges, hospitals, industry, NASA, ISRO, everywhere. Because based on certain patterns, we predict whether that incident will happen or not. For example, I didn't get my train confirmation to come to here. So till the last minute, I was not sure whether I'll be coming. But I've installed an AI app which could predict based on the train number. What's that app? How many has that app installed? 10 man, right? So it could predict based on the past data and based on the waiting list number. It could exactly predict whether you will get confirmed or not. Based on that, I planned my day and it exactly happened the last minute it got confirmed. So similarly, based on certain patterns and predictions, algorithms, we can use the AI in multiple cases. For example, in healthcare, based on your health history, health data, your reports, says, and your previous parents' health history, it could predict, okay, if you follow this certain fitness strategy, then you will not get these diseases. Otherwise, you have a risk of getting this kind of diseases. So in healthcare also, we could predict what could happen in future, right? So AI is a future and future prediction. And coming to your question, how we can use in security. Security, what is cyber security? Okay, what is physical security? So every day we lock our doors, you lock your college, you lock all the rooms, right? Why? To protect. It is physical security, right? So similarly, for our mobile, to secure, we use passcode. For email, we use passcode, right? So cyber security is a branch of science where it talks about, it deals with digital protection of, it can be a data, it can be network, it can be storage, it can be anything related to the digital security. So I lead digital forensics, which is a branch of cyber security, where any incident happen that is related to a digital device, because nowadays any incident happens, it involves a digital device. It can be a mobile or laptop or desktop or anything. A device which can read binaries, zeros and ones. So I deal with identification, analysis, extraction and collecting this data and creating an evidence, digital evidence out of it, and submitting it to the court of law. This is a digital forensics and it is a branch of cyber security. So where analytics comes in picture, so in these all stages I have talked, identification, processing, extraction, analysis and submitting, creating a record and submitting, we have analysis part. That is where security analytics comes into the picture. So based on the data we have and based on the past prediction, how can we actually create an evidence of it? What are the use cases of getting the case closed fast? Because time is precious, right? We cannot take like ages to close it. So that is how it is used in security.
Thank you. Thanks for your initial remarks, Dr.
Okay, I'm Dr. Srinivasarao Gampa, working as professor in electrical engineering department. I did my PhD in IIT Kharagpur. Okay.
PhD on what?
Put on your mics.
Yeah, you can speak now. You can speak now.
Yeah.
Hello. PhD is I did in power distribution systems. Okay. But I want to ask you a question related to this artificial intelligence and machine learning. There's so much of literature is available in the journal papers or in the latest textbooks. Okay. Coming to the machine learning, starting from the linear regression or recurrent neural networks, long short-term memory networks, or BioLSTM networks, several algorithms are available. To what extent these algorithms are in practice in industry? And in what are those fields?
Okay. Is it for him or anybody can answer?
Or anybody can answer.
Okay, fine. Sure, maybe I'll take it.
Okay.
So, each algorithm is applicable in certain specific scenarios. So, wherever it is applicable, we will use. I'll give you some examples. For example, right, you mentioned linear regression as the first method. If you want to predict a continuous variable, how many people will be attending the college every day? You have history for the last, say, 1 year. Tomorrow, how many will come, you want to know. That is a regression problem in the college context again. Okay. RNNs you asked, you said RNNs, LSTMs, all these are to predict the next word. One common example is what I'm giving you. I mean, if I say 3-4 words, what would be the next word is something that you can guess easily, right? To be able to relate to what is being said, what has been said previously, what is being said now. That is where RNNs and LSTMs came in. And then people realized that we can also use it for some time series data elsewhere. It's manufactured or prepared for something, but it's also applicable for something else. Now, I understand your work in energy or grid or power transmission. Are there any algorithms useful for me? All of these algorithms are useful for you, but you have to be able to formulate the problem. What is the problem I am solving? How can I cast it into, or how can I cast this problem into something that a machine learning algorithm can solve? If you ask a general question, it might not be able to, you might not really be able to see through. But if you say, what is the problem I am solving? For example, right, if you are saying, I want to predict grid load. I mean, it's a national grid today, entire country is connected, right? Suddenly there is what is spike in demand in some place. Suddenly loads are going up, right? There might be an imbalance. Typically, I understand, I'm not an electrical guy, but I understand you will tend to cut off. Wherever there is high load, you disconnect that and then save the grid, correct? So at a small scale, if you can think of if you can think of it at a city level also, wherever you can think of it as micro segments and then be able to predict demands. So that instead of cutting off, you will be able to cater to the demand by managing your generation at some point of time. For example, right, in a small city, let us say a small city or a town, there is a cricket match going to happen. Suddenly floodlights are on and then the whole of the stadium, there are some speakers, whatever. That's a reasonably large power consumption in a small area, which is not the same as energy consumption in a block, same size area, residential colony. It will take some energy, but the stadium will take much more energy, correct? Now let us say the power companies do not know of the match. I mean, it's a bad example, but then there might be a spurt in demand and then there will be imbalance of generation and then this thing, you see low voltage, eventually the grid will cut off, correct? So if you are thinking of something like that, you can think of forecasting demand, which will be a time series problem where you can use RMS and LS streams. So algorithms are being used in different places, but the only thing that will stop us is to understand the use case. What am I going to solve? What is the algorithm that will fit my bill? Nail versus screw. You use a hammer or use a screwdriver is all that you need to understand. I hope that answers your question. Or Hima wants to add something.
Just to conclude, so it depends on like we need to know when to use what, right? So we need to know when to open the door, when to close the door. That is where the human interaction or human plays a vital role for a year. That is where we.
I just want to know to what extent at present currently what are the different fields they are involved in.
Let me tell you a practical example. Okay, how many try to buy burgers like in McDonald's?
But in the real world,
I will come into that. I'm saying way back in 2008, we developed a project called it's called a demand sense in a simple terms. Okay, we predict the demand. Even a small retail store also using an algorithms to answer your questions like linear regression. I will tell you in a practical example, then you will understand the value of it. How you are using everyday life, even without knowingly you are using that. So, for example, if there is a temperature minus 2 degrees to 2 degrees, so how cold it is? It's very cold, right? It is 2 degrees to 2 degrees, and that is one parameter. Okay. The other parameter is if the wind speed is 15 miles to 18 miles per hour. What happens for that? If it is a wind speed is 15 miles to 18 miles. So if the temperature is minus 2 degrees to 2 degrees and the wind speed is 15 miles to 18 miles, what happens in that situation? It is even colder. Like field light will become minus 10 degrees. So whenever this condition happens, okay, as a professor, I am asking to you, there are 4 types of sandwiches before you. You have a beef sandwich, sorry if you are a vegetarian, okay, you have a beef sandwich, you have a chicken sandwich, and you have a vegetable sandwich. Which sandwich usually human tendency will buy? Please answer.
the cold weather.
The scenario is it is minus 2 degrees to 2 degrees and the wind speed is 15 miles to 18 miles per hour and you have a chance to eat only one burger. Which burger or which sandwich you would like to eat?
Hot.
No, all are hot only. Like there is let's say beef sandwich, chicken sandwich.
If you don't mind, I'll Indianize the. If you don't mind, I'll Indianize. Yeah, 1 minute. If you don't mind, I'll Indianize the menu. If he says there is ice cream and samosa and pakodi, what will you eat when it is cold? Hot dish.
So let me explain. Actually speaking, there is beef sandwich means the answer is beef sandwich. Why? Because if the temperature is very cold and the wind speed is also high, automatically our body needs lot of heat because our bodies always maintain the temperature. So whenever you want to eat only one sandwich, you definitely go and buy a beef sandwich, irrespective of your religions or whatever I'm saying. In that situation, I'm talking about in a British perspective, because he buys for 2 pounds or 3 pounds, because the reason behind that is the fuel. If you put in a petrol, it will go 20 miles. If you put a kerosene, it will get lot of smoke and it will travel only 5 miles. So if you eat a beef sandwich, at least you can keep up your body for another 4-5 hours extra. So in a simple terms, these algorithms are used in not only in a small food sector, in aeronautical, space exploration. It is heavily using from 2000 year or before that as well. So it is a part and parcel of every industry. These are very, very basic algorithms, so using by every industry.
Have you ever used them?
We used plenty of times. I can say we designed one product called R+ Demand Sense. So all the story was arrived from that product, which is called Demand Sense. So we'll sense the demand based upon the external weather, external temperatures, external weather. Please be interactive, guys.
LSTM by LSTM also.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's what.
So just to conclude, and whatever you have given example, RNN and LSTM is one part, but with the Gen AI, the next level transformers, attention network, there are much more. So I used it for past 6 years, that LSTM. That time it is like we used to wonder what is that long short-term memory. It is conflicting short and long-term memory. It used to be crazy by the naming convention, but the name, if you indicate, if you see how much to remember, how far, right? So that's the principle there. Yes, practically we used it. And nowadays, if you ask me, is it the state of the art? No. There are other ones, especially attention networks and then transformers, birds. These are the things which are going forward. Okay, interesting. So in the same discussion, because Mike is already with you, so what is the impact of Gen AI? Because whatever he asked also, we are using a lot of technologies at the back end, but what is the impact of Gen AI from your perspective?
Yeah, so I think this is definitely interesting. Everyone knows about ChatGPT, right? So generative AI, right? So can anyone tell me what is meant by, like as a human, what are we generating? Can you guys please stand up and tell anyone? Please, yeah. We are generating speech. For example, I am sitting here, I am generating something. What I am generating here? I am generating a speech here. How I am generating my speech? I am using my not 2.5 petabytes of data, definitely it might be some terabytes of data. I am using my 2.5 terabytes of data and I am processing it. With the help of that, I am generating something. So every day you come to the college, you come to the school, or you go anywhere. What are you guys are doing? We are generating a touch. If you touch someone, when you give a shake hand, it's also generating something. You know by shake handing, oh, whether it's a male, female, or father, mother, by closing your eyes, you can generate something. You are generating speech. By day to day, every day we are talking, I am talking, is generating a speech. So ChatGPT is not a rocket science, again I am telling you. It generates a few words. What it uses billions of pages in the backend by using an LLMs, which is called as a large language models. I think you might know about SMLs as well, small language models. So it's mainly what it is using a petabytes of data, and with the help of that it is using converting into a speech. It's called generative speech. ChatGPT, what it does, it simply go and check all the websites and it will give you in a systematic way and presentable way to you. It's called generative AI. So generative AI is nothing but 0.1% of a human being. Human being does lot of things. Human being sees the things, talks the things, and it generates everything. Every human being is in a generative AI. It's only generative AI is 0. Just imagine that the value of generative AI is in billions and billions of pounds. Just it is a 0.1% of a human being. Guys, please think about that. You can generate lot of things. Generate a common sense. Is nothing but an artificial general intelligence. Why I want to relate is, I want to be more interactive is, we are only doing a 0.1 or 0.5% of a human beings. Okay, thank you.
I'll give us an example. But to put it technically, generative AI essentially is a slightly improved machine learning. It is able to construct coherent pieces of English longer. With that, lot of other things are being enabled. What are the other things that are being enabled? So please think of it in two ways. One is the technology itself and what is enabled by the technology. Okay, I have a tool. What can I do with the tool? You have a bike, fine. The simplest thing that we can think of a bike is I can go race, correct? But you can go and bring groceries, you can help somebody who is not able to walk, or you want to bring medicines, you can go and bring that. All kinds of things are enabled by having a bike, correct? Just like that, generative AI is a technology, but it enables a lot of things. What are the lot of things it will enable is what maybe I'll give you in a brief summary. First of all, it can write, it can understand text and what is being said. Somebody writes a complaint in an email to a company, customer care. There is an email of say 100 or 20 lines long. Generative AI can summarize it for you very quickly. Because it can generate, it can also understand. First of all, it has to understand and then it generates. So it can understand comprehensively much better than previous language models. You write 10 lines, this is my complaint. It can tell who wrote, what is the main topic, when was the complaint started, what happened. Simple. Understanding is the first step. Second is it can generate appropriate responses. If you write a complaint, typically earlier, 5-10 years ago, maybe it would have been stock response. There will be a string text with your name attached. Hi, so and so. We are sorry that you had this problem. We will solve your problem. The ticket ID is so and so. Ticket ID and name are only different, but everything else is a template, word template. Correct? Sorry for the problem. We will reach out to you shortly. Everybody will get the same response. Now, generative AI can make it vary. Given the severity of your problem, you might get a small answer, big answer, or a small email or a big email as a response. That is what it can provide, variability in response, which is still coherent. People can still understand what is being said in the email and and it will mimic a person because it is so good. So that is the second part where it can generate customized responses to people. When you talk of generative AI for text, large language models. Another variant of generative AI is for vision. You can say, I want to generate an image of an astronaut riding a horse. You can go and check, like GenAI, ChatGPT, there is something called Stable Diffusion, which will generate images. Generate AI for vision. You go and ask it a question, it will create a picture which will look very realistic. And in the real world, if you want to generate such kinds of images, you have to have a cinematography set, some director, some photography, all that kinds of thing, and some physical infrastructure has to be there in place. That you generate now, which will look very realistic as if it has been photographed and not painted or not generated randomly. So with that, what happens? It becomes more, advertising becomes more customizable. All of you can get different kinds of ads depending upon what your preference is. In the simplest sense, let us say there is an ad for running shoes or there is an ad for some food, right? It might present some image that you might relate to more than what you may not relate to. So running shoes are there. It might put an Indian person or Indian persona in the image who look realistic when it is giving an ad to the Indian audience. And when the same ad is shown to say Chinese or Americans, a similar person is generated there. These are very broad applications of generative AI, which is where everybody is now worried, it's taking up our job. It's not taking everybody's job. Some of the jobs have become difficult because generative AI is giving a response very quickly and coherently.
So,
over to Hima.
As you are mentioning, maybe that's related to you also. It is entering the creative field, not just from engineering, right? So it can create, as you are saying, it can generate images, it can create music, fusion, all that, right? So what will happen to the copyright issues? What will happen to our creators? So what will happen to the, what are the security challenges? So you can add on.
Yeah, because security is a fundamental principle for AI. Anything that it has two sides of coins, right? So it can be used for construction and it can be used for destruction. So ethical AI is always preferable, and it can be used for the other side of the coin also, right? For example, for hackers, they can actually search for the new techniques to come up to hack your systems or ransom attacks or threat detection, and we have this concept called NDR, Network Detection and Response, EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response, and also MDR, right? So when it comes to security, as citizens, I think we should focus more on the constructive part of it and also aware of what kind of threats that we can be aware of. For example, based on the patterns of the AI and LLMs, we can predict like these kind of behavior of the user. It's called user behavior analytics. Based on this behavior of the user, or based on these patterns, okay, these attacks are common and this is a known threat. And there could be unknown threats also, right? That is where, always remember, AI will not take away jobs, to answer your question. But AI will take away jobs from the people who do not know AI to the people who knows how to use AI using some tools. This creative field, yes, they are always looking for more creativity, but you should know how to use the tool, right? You should know how to use ChatGPT. At the same time, you should not copy and paste whatever ChatGPT says, because most of the time it doesn't give accurate information that you actually need, right? So you have to rewrite it. You need to scan it and rewrite. It actually helps you to quickly rewrite, but save time. But again, it should not be like copy and paste, because always there is issue with the copyright, and somebody put a case against you on copyrights, then you are sued, and that costs millions of dollars for your organization and company, right? So in terms of security, we can always use AI for the predictive analytics. In terms of security, what kind of threats college we could attack. For example, many of us get a lot of calls and messages, right? And also from OLX or some unknown number. Do you need loan? Or these are all frauds. Like the moment you respond, they ask for money, and some people already responded and they used to lose some money. These are all common frauds that they take OTP and do this. Based on this behavior, using AI and security analytics, we can also create certain tools where and apps where we can actually predict that, oh, okay, this is a known scam. And if you have some phones, based on the number that they are calling, you can actually get the red mark, right? This is spam, and this is loan. So that you need not lift those calls, or you need not respond. It's a waste of time, right? Saying hello and calling them and asking who is that person. So these are all the privacy use cases. Yes, with this technology, it is always changing. It actually opens the doors for the other side of the coin. But I think we should be aware of what is happening and protecting our confidentiality and integrity in terms of personal security. Not only personal security, organization that you work for, the college that you work for, wherever you go, tomorrow you go to a company and you work for a company. So it's very important for you to protect the company's data, customers' data, security, and also your personal data. What is your personal data? Your PII, your phone number, date of birth, first name, last name. These are very confidential information. You should never share your date of birth and mobile name, because financial transactions are based on the date of birth and your mother maiden name. So we usually tell randomly to unknown people. We never know who is tracking us, who is watching us, and we put everything on social media, Facebook and everywhere. So don't put your privacy at stake. At the same time, aware of what's happening and use the AI in a right manner.
So
Today you can use ChatGPT to generate some story which looks like, say, Arkanarayan story or somebody else's story. No? Write a story on the rights of this author. It would have read through all the internet corpus of stories. It will write a story which will just look like what the author wrote. Or there are generative AI methods where people are generating music also, right? If you know Ilayaraja's songs, you will say generate me a new tune which looks like or which seems like coming from Ilayaraja. The question is, does the copyright then reside with Ilayaraja because he fed the original data, the data that is used by the LLM to understand or the Gen AI model to understand came from him. So does he own the copyright, or the person who developed the LLM model is able to understand and maybe can create some new variant, right? So the generative AI company, like say OpenAI, do they own the copyright? Or do you own the copyright because you just asked the question? Do you own the copyright just because you asked the question? Or does the internet own the copyright because it's also possible because all this data is available on the internet, right? You are scraping all this from the internet and then using to trade, correct? So at least to me, I know what is happening in the world in a slight, this thing. Recently there is a court case or something going on in the US where the news agencies sued OpenAI and large language model companies because they have trained on the news corpus. Whatever news agencies published, these LLMs used to train on them. So they said, okay, we fed your training data, so the weights that are there are coming from our data. This is copyright infringement. So the world is at least still not very clear. It's not like clear-cut somebody has set up rules like this guy owns the copyright, this guy does not. Every country is still not sure. Maybe what happens in the US will be a guidance for what other people will do typically. So maybe we'll have to wait till something happens on the.
Usually the law follows the technology. So because technology is advancing very fast, and coming from the bit of the law background as well. One I have seen recently. Suppose the image example you talked about, right? So I can give it text, be creative, and there is a image generated here. So there is some watermarks coming on top of it, right? So people have started attempting it. We don't have a like black and white answer there, but definitely the corpus which was spread, there is a music by Ilaiyaraaja or other one, they also need to get some credit. So that's what people are working towards. Interesting. Any more questions before I take up the last set of questions from the panelists?
What is the intelligence? I want to understand intelligence.
Sir, your level of questions we cannot answer, sir. We will come and talk to you outside the session.
I want to understand intelligence only.
We will take offline, sir, please.
See, here I will give one clue.
Yes,
You
sir.
happen to be my student.
Yes, sir.
I will give one clue. The question will AI itself have the answer in the school letters. It's saying intelligence is who? Yeah. Intelligence belongs to yeah.
Yes, sir, it is in your name only. You are the intelligence.
No, your intelligence or our intelligence or anybody's intelligence from yeah. It's there.
So we will say in the interest
Maybe the
of
students, if you have any questions, you can please feel free to ask. Faculty, you cannot really answer them.
No, I am a human being and you are a human being, right?
Yes,
Yes, sir, you are right. It is.
yes, sir.
Because you are having so much technology, I don't have except 0, 1, plus 2. I don't know anything about computers. I know only 3. 0, 1, plus, nothing else. You
Yes,
are
sir.
more advanced, you know.
you only taught us the computers in the beginning, sir.
No, I know only 0, 1, plus, nothing else.
Yeah.
You have learned so much, no? What is revolution?
So we were talking from a, we are not about human revolution and all that, sir. We
No.
are only,
No.
yeah.
How
We
to
are-
be a part of? I asked AI,
Yes.
I got the answer. What is revolution?
Revolution is the
Don't
change,
vote
right?
for any political party. That is revolution. You stand and vote for yourself. Like that, you should give simple example.
Yes,
No?
sir, when we were there in the college, we actually studied in shifts. There is no facilities. Now when we
No,
came
for
back-
studying, no buildings are required, no equipment is required. You require a book or one tree for shadow. Nothing else.
That is correct, sir.
Ah, that was-
Let me complete.
No,
sir.
that's why you are grown up like that. These fellows are gone. You are helping them. All yes, you know.
When we come back
No.
after 25 years,
You are the teachers,
we
they are in
see
up. They
infrastructure,
should
that is called
sit
revolution.
down.
That is what the revolution is.
No, you are not defined. Give me one example of a revolution.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So any more questions? Yes, please. Shrikant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
We are privileged to have you as part of our audience.
Hi, so myself Shrikant. So I'm a front-end developer. Okay, so I used to develop a framework like React. So I used to work with so many people who used to develop a components on the framework, on our framework. Okay, so each you can say component is like a simple button or some list. Okay. So each component has a huge data. So recently I did some R&D using Azure OpenAI. Okay. So we give some data to the Azure OpenAI. Hey, can you give me the what all the components is really causing the performance issue? Okay. So it is giving. I got the response back. Hey, these are the components have a huge data which might cause some performance issue when you use these components. Very good. But the issue we got from security people, particularly from my boss or some other security team saying that we should not upload our data to the some third party, Azure, like Azure OpenAI. So with that, my R&D got stopped. So tell me how to avoid uploading data to the Azure OpenAI. That's one thing. And there is something like a data token size limits are there. So how to overcome those things so that we can make use of artificial intelligence very effectively. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay.
In terms of security, I'll try to answer maybe for AI. I worked in application security as well as information security and now in engineering security. If organization policy says that we should not upload the data, we should not, because every product company we sign NDA, right? So we should not upload the data because product data is very crucial being in security. And we do have firewalls and what comes in, what goes out, everything is tracked. Everything is tracked because we install certain EXEs in every laptop. You may not know, but each and every activity, we don't monitor it or we don't track it, but if you need evidence or we have to investigate on certain employee, we will definitely use that data. So that is always backed up, archived, monthly, weekly, and yearly, half yearly. So we have to be very careful, especially working for the customer also. Even for your product, you may have another customer. And the data is very crucial. We should not be uploading or doing it. And to answer your question, you can use mock data. You may not use exactly the customer data, but you can create a dummy data set or a mock data set, replicating the data. You cannot exactly use the same word, right? But you can always append some random numbers. You know, right? How to generate or different data set. Use your own algorithm or analytical skills to create a mock data set. But it should not have the exact, but don't append only 001 or numbers, something like that. Something completely different from the data, but the structure, data type and everything can be similar. So that would give the answer. But the data you can again replace it. So that can be one, but exact data you can never ever upload publicly. And that is like a threat to your job. So we have to be very careful in what we share, and your company can be sued also once we upload any kind of activity. And yes, you can use ChatGPT or any other AI technique to assess. Sometimes we also take help of the tools, but we don't upload the data because we have our own internal setup and virtual machines where we do that activity. But publicly, I would say you should never do that.
I'll add a few points maybe before. In your React.js framework or whatever, it's very specific to you. And if you know how to replicate the problem, you know the problem. That's the question. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. There are three levels, three answers to your question. First thing is, if you try to upload any data to ChatGPT when you are using a free tier means you keep asking questions, it will give you answers. Answers are fine. But the point is, because it's a free tier, they will log the data. Log meaning they will keep a record of the data. And then any human can go and see what has been asked and what has been said. Because they will say, we are trying to improve the model. I mean, this uploading data, caching data is not very new. We have been uploading photos to Google Photos since decades. At least 10 years, right? And now Google Photos are at a place where they will say, they'll show you an icon or one photo and say, tag this person's name, and the moment you tag a name to that face, it will show you the person's photos even from birth. Correct? If you have kids and you have been taking photos of your kids from their 6 months onwards, even if they are like 8 years or 15 years now, Google can track it back and say infant photo also, it will show this is this person. Correct? So this has been there since a long time. Caching data, whatever we provide as data, Facebook, Google, all these are like things where people collect data from us, right? So we have been uploading data and all. But when you use ChatGPT free tier kind of a scenario, there is no restriction on the data copy being present in the ChatGPT website. They can take the data, they can use it. Something like this happened. Samsung R&D few years ago, 1 year ago or so, somebody in Samsung R&D in Korea or somewhere, they were asking their technical questions and all, and then that data got leaked. The point is, it's like saying that you call somebody, unknown guy into your home and show your Almera, show your locker safe and say, can you repair this bolt? It is like that. That guy knows where your Almera is or what to do. That's the first part. Second part of it is you can still try to use premium or paid versions where the data will be with you or they will not maintain a copy of the data. It's a promise that they do. So you can take a paid version, send the data and then get back. That is the second option. A third option is you can use the custom LLM which you can download and use. When I say custom LLM, ChatGPT is where you have to interact with it by an API call. You have to make an API call, send the data, get back the answer. But there are free LLMs which are basically trained and available off the shelf, like people use CNN models or RNN models. Like you can download the LLM onto your own premise, and in your premise you can ask it to answer all these questions. Like Flare or Llama, that is a small one, but Flare, Llama, all these are later ones. You can download a copy of the Llama 2 or Llama from the website, operate in your on-premise, in your own GPU, you can do whatever you want to. In such case, you are very sure data doesn't go out anywhere. Okay, this is a better alternative that you can try if you are interested in. Yeah. Any follow-up question on that?
That's it. Yeah, thank you.
But just to add on top of that, you need to check in your organization as well whether Llama 2, if you are using it, if there is any leakage later on, even though if it is on-premise, sometimes they will take the blame. Otherwise, they will ask the responsibility of the team, right? So it's better to check with the organization security, because these are all coming up as latest advances. Who will be responsible for what activities? Right. Interesting.
So when you actually within on-premises also, if you do these kind of things, sometimes it may go to the legal issues also, because there will be customer data and customers are trusting, and if any leakage is there, then they will sue our organization. So it is very expensive damage. So we have to be very careful. To be on safer side, yes, we can do, but upon an approval, so that we will be safe. That's all.
Sure, interesting. So then we will take one more last round in terms of, because most of them are students, and then we talked about a lot of different technologies and what are the different applications. So to be part of that revolution, what are your recommendations for the students? You want to start with that? Yeah.
So again, what will be the next scenarios, or what we can be a part of this challenging journey means. Let me start from that 2.5 petabytes of data. A human body can store 2.5 petabytes of data. With that, we are generating, or we are doing a lot of activities day to day. Let's tell me what is the next challenge for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence also has a lot of challenges. Can you guess what are the challenges? There are two challenges are there. That's where can become your next startup, or that can be your role in future. So there are two critical challenges are there for artificial intelligence. Tell me. Anyone? I hope you guys had a nice sleep. Seems to be.
No challenges?
No challenges? Yeah, please.
Answer? Okay.
Huh?
Right skill sets.
Right skill sets, okay.
And the processing power of the chips, computing power.
So I think definitely, madam, we need to derive to a data level, but yeah. So yeah, very good. Anyone else, please? Okay, fine.
You please come here for your answer.
Yeah. Become a challenge for the world.
सर इधर भी ब्लैक.
So actually, before coming to this chart, I was clearly trying to want to convey a couple of messages. I think this question will help me. The main challenges for artificial intelligence is facing is two things. One is hardware, because everyone may think, oh, artificial intelligence is coming up, we should all go to the artificial intelligence, learn algorithms and all. It's not. Actually speaking, the biggest challenge is hardware. So the next generation, next 10 years or next 20 years, the hardware development will be a good career as well. I will tell you an example. To process let's say, I want to be more interactive, please be interactive. Let's say if you have 100 GB of data, okay, what is the CPU capacity is required to run an algorithm? Anyone? Definitely, when you are going to a computer lab, what do you have in that? CPUs, right? Like there will be some computation power. So if the computation power is like if you have more data, what will be the next to the CPUs? What is the next to the CPUs, guys? Huh? It's called GPUs. Means a graphical computation power. Okay. After let's say GPUs, what will be the next? is called TPUs. For example, every petabyte of data is increasing. Our computation powers, our computational resources we have on this world is not available to generate lot of things or to do lot of things. How difficult open the AI is facing. You know, hardware itself is a big challenge. Like designing an TPUs is a big challenge. It can become your career, actually speaking. So the first challenge I feel is hardware. So again, I will connect back to my example. Let's imagine our brain is a TPU or CPU or GPU. Tell me. Please tell me. Is it a CPU or GPU or TPU? Definitely I am saying if you are holding lot of data, our brain is TPUs. So just we are recreating our brain is called TPUs. So coming back to the second challenge, as Dr. Sunil said, the first challenge is hardware. The next challenge is data creation, dummy data creation. For example, all your lecturers are here to train you. How they train you? Because they will try to understand the previous learnings. With the help of that, they will try to teach you. So now the next part is creating a gen data. Gen data means a common sense. For example, a problem is there, as Madam said, we need to generate a common sense. For generating a common sense, for example, when you are walking on a road, you will see Lord Ganesha, you will stop and try to take the prayer for the Lord Ganesha. If a European is going, he will go just like that. So a common sense from reason to reason is different. Just imagine how much data you need to generate to train a robot. It is a tremendous petabytes and zettabytes of data. So your career can be generating a dummy data. Itself is a big career. So two challenges for artificial intelligence. One is hardware, number two is generating a dummy data. So you guys can set up a companies to generate a data. Itself is a huge industry. I'm telling about hundreds of billion pounds business can be generated in the generating a data, means dummy data. The next part is generating the TPUs. TPUs means in terms of computational power. After doing all this stuff, it is not equivalent to our brain, which can store 2 petabytes. By this, I am concluding it. I think these are the challenges I see in artificial intelligence. Thank you, guys.
So, Hima, if you want to add how
Yeah, the main challenge is security, because as I said, right, it has other side of the coin. So the privacy and the integrity of the information or the data is at stake, because you are constantly pushing your data and trying to generate a lot of data using ChatGPT and all that, right? So there are a lot of opportunities in cybersecurity, and it's going to be a niche technology, especially the cyber analytics part of digital forensic side, right? There are a number of opportunities for analytics and security, or even in security or even in analytics separately, because both needs hand in hand. I was just telling during our lunchtime, both of them should be like wife and husband, should work hand in hand, security and analytics, and we should always deal cyber security and analytics, because security needs analytics and analytics needs the data privacy and security. So number of opportunities in cybersecurity, and every company is investing huge amount in cybersecurity, and by 2030 it's going to be in trillions of dollars. The damages of cybersecurity is going to be. So there is a huge need for cybersecurity professionals, and you don't need to be especially a programmer to become expert in this field. As is mentioned by Dr. Raghava, hardware, there is good need, especially for women. So that is also a very good career for women to excel and go ahead if you are really interested in hardware, because very few women I see in security or hardware industry in this domain. So if you are really, so find out your passion, do a SWOT analysis, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities and threats. Based on that, based on your interest, I think you should start building your profile and CV and looking for opportunities like cybersecurity analyst, threat analyst, cybersecurity investigator, incident responder, and cybersecurity examiner, digital forensic examiners. So these are a number of opportunities that has huge demand in the future, but talent in the market is very few, and it's in hundreds. I mean, like, good talent, and there are opportunities like tremendous. Like, if you have 1,000 opportunities, but the people are like very less in this domain. So I think it's a great opportunity that college is investing on this cybersecurity and AI and digital forensics, and especially on artificial intelligence. Utilize the opportunity and become yourself expert. How many of you have CVs ready? Tomorrow I say I have a job, send your CV. How many of you are ready? Please raise your hand.
Not in final year, I guess. They are still in second and third.
Second, but at least you should have your CV. How many of you have CV? Some of them. Okay, good. So start building. This is the right time. Second year is the right time. Start building your profile. It can be nothing, just your education. Start doing. Every month, try to add more things on your profile. Start doing the profile. Try to create a LinkedIn profile. Be in LinkedIn. Get that exposure, what's happening in the industry. And about these roles, I think you should know what you need to target, whether it is a digital forensic investigator or cyber security analyst or threat hunter. So basically what these people do is, you protect the organization from various threats by doing this predictive analysis. Same analytics, but the use cases on the digital security. As I mentioned in the beginning of the discussion, I talked about the digital security, right? Same, you analyze and protect the organization's data. So that is to start with. Then you can go as a senior analyst, security architect, and then the IT manager, and then you can also become a CISO. So that is the path for security. Thank you.
Thank you for being the role model for our students. So yeah, we'll the session.
Maybe I'll try to summarize quickly, but I'll try to put it from the student's point of view. Okay, if I have to get a job now, what should I do? That would be the first question. Correct? Yes or no? Please say yes or no, or raise hand or do something. No? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So there are, to put it simply, there are 2-3 methods. One is if the job market is very good, meaning companies are actively hiring, whoever goes to a company, there is a job or some things like that, we don't really need to worry, right? You get your resume ready, 4th year campus placement, all of you will get placed. That is one simple scenario. But if there are ups and downs, is when things will be difficult, right? Because currently, the second, third years may not know, but currently the hiring is cautious because most of the companies think that they can get efficiency gains using generative AI. Earlier, I used to hire a lot of people in product support where these guys would look at emails, understand the software, and then reply back via an email. Sorry, this is the problem in the product, please do the following steps. There used to be product support teams once upon a time, correct? Similarly, customer support, whatever you call in the regular world, you call somebody, they'll reply by looking at you ask a question, my bank balance, something is wrong, there's a transaction that went wrong, what happened? That mail will go to some person in a customer support team who would then query a database, list out the transaction, see what happened and all, right? Now today generative AI in conjunction with regular programming languages is able to do that work very, very well. So most of the companies are thinking that, or currently the mindset is that we can get or we will get efficiency gains using LLM. If I'm going to get efficiency gains using LLM, I don't need a bigger team. The current team will do for me. That is where the mindset seems to be, at least now. Now meaning, I don't know whether it will go away in 6 months or 1 year, that part I'm not really sure. But currently hiring is cautious because everybody thinks generative AI will help them in a large way, but nobody clearly knows how. Everybody is experimenting. Okay, companies are trying to automate their projects, tasks with generative AI and see what is possible, what is not possible, and so on. So in such a scenario, how do I position myself as a right candidate? That is a question. Okay, now just to give you some context, I am from IIT, but even my BTech placement has been like this. Which company, how to go, what job? The doubt was there. I went to a lot of interviews, got kicked out, came out, lot of things happened. The only point I realized is that you cannot really be ready for every job that comes to your college. Somebody will say cyber security, somebody will say analytics, somebody will say venture or a startup, I am looking for a entrepreneurial mindset guy who will work with me to develop a product. That guy may not be a pure technical programmer. But if this guy, if Raghava says this is the business requirement, that guy should be able to articulate the solution or the method and say, I think this is the basic minimum working prototype for the problem that we described. We can build this in 3 months with 2 people. That guy may not be a programmer himself. For example, I might not be able to do that, right? So every job profile is slightly different. That is always there. So how will I be prepared for all the jobs? You may not be, but you pick some field or some area of work and do good work there. When I say do good work, don't write projects that everybody will write. Don't write Kaggle or whatever competitions that everybody is doing. If you write a project on your resume which is present in 100 other resumes in your same college, the value of that project will go down. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because you may not see your friend's resume and your friend may not see your resume. That may be true. But the interviewer will see the resumes, right? Whenever you send resumes, obviously we will all look at. So from GEC, so many resumes came. All of them talk about same project. What is this project? There some senior would have given them, somebody would have given them. Right? So the point is, whenever you do some work to add to your resume, it has to be something that you did, which can be a niche problem or a slightly different problem that is not common. You may not really succeed in doing the problem solving it, but you will learn a lot of things when you try. Okay? So the point is, in projects also you have to show some novelty. If everybody is writing about some project that you find on the internet or YouTube, there is no value to adding that project to your resume. Correct? You have to make sure that you do something which is novel, and typically the good time to start such things would be second year, third year. When I say second year, third year, you may not know all the theoretical concepts or the academic concepts fully, but you will identify a problem, you will start learning what is required and you will try to do things. Now as you go more and more, you will see more things and then you will realize. Someday that will become a worthwhile project. This is something with patience. Okay, tomorrow there is interview, tonight some wonderful project will not come. Just like you cannot eat 10 days of food in 1 day or 1 lunch. You have to do it slowly, steadily every day. Okay? This is another thing. And the third option is when things are bad, no, the best way is to go to higher education. When you go to higher education, you differentiate yourself from the rest of the people by saying that I'm willing to invest my time and energy in learning more. And today, practically all analytics companies know one thing. If you hire BTech students, most of our companies think the same. What they think is if you hire BTech students, they'll work for a year or 2 and then they'll say we want to go for MS or PhD, something like that. So today hiring has moved to masters or PhDs are okay, that is still rarity. But mostly today hiring is, most of the company hirings are for MTechs. Because they know that MTech is where most people stop. 100 people do BTech, 20 may do MTech, and in the 20 some 3-4 may do PhD. So this 20 is where companies are after, because MTech means this person will stably be in the job for the rest of the career. So these are thoughts from the corporate world. I don't know if they made sense to you or not, but if you have any questions now, I can answer here or outside. Maybe Raghava wants to answer.
I'll just take a couple of seconds. See, when you write a CV, just think that you are writing your story, which is a real story. Then automatically it will be unique. If you are unique, you need to write a unique story. So always don't mimic anything, don't copy anything. Just whatever is there in your mind, write it. The people really appreciate it. Because always the person will look at, there are like 10 lakh engineers are not getting a job here. Even if you copy in a wonderful CV, you are not going to filter. If you write any unique story, definitely it can pass through in your life. That will affect you a lot. So in a simple line, when you are writing in a CV, be a real story. Like you can see like a Deccan movie, really recently, Akashamani Hadduga. It's a unique story. So being a unique, you are already a unique, definitely your CV should be also unique. A real story will always help you. I wish you all the best and I wish you success in your life. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the wonderful panelists for sharing the diversified views to our students, and I'm sure you got benefited from these interesting remarks. As a closing remarks from my side, so one thing is, future is bright, not to worry. I'm just summarizing what you have mentioned, top 3 points. So maybe the nature of job may change, so but the fundamentals will not change, right? So whatever the, right from your mathematics, programming, or all that, be strong, and the new technologies will emerge, right? Second thing, in terms of, it's not just only the computer science and programming, there are other things in terms of security, in terms of hardware, right? So these are also interesting avenues for you to address the challenges, and opportunities are there for you to be part of this AI revolution. With those closing remarks, thanks a lot for the management and the principal sir for seeding this thought to have this kind of discussion. And thanks for panelists for making it wonderful, interactive session. Hope we made some remarks for your food for thought. And with that, I am closing with thanking all the panelists. Thank you.
Discussion with our esteemed panelists to a conclusion, I extend my sincere gratitude to each of them for their invaluable contributions. Their expertise and insights have shed light on the topic, how to be part of AI revolution, opportunities and challenges. Let us now express our gratitude by presenting mementos to the panel members. I request Dr. B. Karunakumar, Principal, SRGEC, to present memento to Dr. Sunil Kumar Uppala Garu. Sir, please accept our token of gratitude. I also request Dr. M. Kamaraju Garu to join. Please accept our token of gratitude, sir. Srimati Himabindu Vizalla Garu, Madam, please accept our token of gratitude. Dr. D. Srivallabha Garu, sir, please accept our token of gratitude. Thank you, sir. Now, I request for concluding remarks.
So, good evening, friends, my dear kids. I'm very happy to be here. I want to be a listener to this panel in particular, but because the government is going to visit the institution tomorrow as a guest chief for the valedictory session, so many protocols were there. I used to be often out of the dice to an area where signal is available to speak to them, right? Sorry for that. So thank you, sir. I joined this institution in 2004. And of course, I was associated with this education society for the last 42 years. Perhaps I was 19 plus, I got chalk to my hand. It's my 42nd year of service in this organization, right from my diploma age to this particular thing. Recently, I registered for a course on artificial intelligence under NPTEL, but because it happened to me to meet my eldest son at a Los Angeles, I missed the target line. But sure, I would like to take examination for this, right, sir? And I joined in the college as a coordinator training and placement, associate professor in mechanical engineering. Because I connected to the last two dialogues, that's the reason why I am speaking to you. I wrote a resume, B. Karunakumar, son of B. Narayanamurthy. Right? And Allad Aparna copied my resume, or taken as a model. Allad Aparna, son of even daughter of son of nothing. Here your name, here your father's name, here this thing. So that is the, we won't keep our, we are not going to tell us about self. So Raghava sir told, I should not call that, sir, Dr. Raghavendra Eramshetty. Am I right? And he spoke, it should be a real story, but we are habituated to give real story. It should not be a real story, it should be real story. And we want to, actually I have the thought of having a panel discussion on artificial intelligence when I spoke to Sunil, about I proposed, because the topic, the area is my brainchild. I proposed that challenges of human, artificial intelligence with human. Okay, that's all. Only challenge is I thought of. Because we are artificially intelligent. We are artificially intelligent. We are feeling that we are intellectuals. Perhaps we may not be using it. But we should be naturally intelligent to grab the opportunities of artificial intelligence. So, be vigilant about yourself. Have an open mind. Right? The challenges will come into play. Right? I am very much thankful to Dr. Sunil by taking my thought in true spirit and giving a very good title. And I came to know that all the 4 panelists discussed among themselves and then they arrived at that. For that, my sincere thanks to you. So, as far as possible computer science, I am an illiterate. But I have a passion of pursuing online courses and taking examinations for the last 4.5 years or 5 years. I pursued 31 online courses from NVIDIA and out of which 11 I am in the toppers list in India. Now the last 2 subjects I have taken, but because of some ill health of my eldest son, I left for US suddenly. So then that introduction to artificial intelligence by Professor Mausam, you might have heard about it. Very tough, and I worked with perhaps Aparna, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Sumalika is there. All the teachers teaching that artificial intelligence, I brought them to the same platform. As the director of academic strengthening and advancement, in the last 3 years I was the director, sir, and I assumed charge as the principal only on the 1st December for a period of 3 years. During that journey, I asked all the teachers, come together, go through different these things. You please connect to the alumni those are working on this area. You ask them on which projects they are working and what kind of problems they are facing. So then actually we can come out with a strategy how to make the students learnable, that how to sustain the interest. Okay, so only to say my feelings, be natural, invite the challenge, not accept the challenge, invite the challenge. And బయట రావడం చూసుకున్నావు అంటాను సార్ బయట వస్తే అంటావు లేదా గొడవ రాగానే నువ్వు రాసుకుని చూసుకున్నావు. కమాన్, ఇట్స్ ఏ ప్రాబ్లమ్, కెనాట్ బి. ఎస్, ఇట్ ఇస్ ఏ హ్యూరిస్టిక్. We are talking about hill climbing algorithm, right? Okay, with other things, what are the other algorithms we have? What is the difference between leftward pruning and rightward pruning? How the number of nodes are getting changed? You invite. ఏమవుతుంది? ప్రయత్నం తర్వాత ఓడిపోవడం ఉంటుంది అంతే కదా, అంత నుంచి ఏమవుతుంది కదా. యు ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు లూజ్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఆఫ్టర్ మేకింగ్ ఏ ట్రయల్. ది అల్టిమేట్ రిజల్ట్ పెర్హాప్స్ మే బి ఫెయిల్యూర్. ఓకే, ఫెయిల్యూర్ కూడా సక్సెస్. అందుకని పాతకాలంలో పాట చెప్పాడు, బాధే సౌఖ్యమనే భావన రాని ఓయ్. Right? Therefore, a failure also will give you certain experience. Right? You please do connect to the emerging technology, and I hope, if I am right, sound fundamental knowledge, core fundamentals you stressed upon. That is a very, very, very good point, dear friends. Let us all come together, work together, design together the teaching, learning practices from the academic year 2024-25. with a view to have a comfortable journey of you in the next 40 years. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's really an excellent conclusion for this panel discussion. Now, I extend my special thanks to Dr. Sunil Kumar Uppala, Dr. Raghavendra Eramsetti, Srimati Himabindu Vezilla, and Dr. D. Srivallabha for spending their time and knowledge with us. Also, I would like to express gratitude to all the attendees for their active participation and thoughtful questions. Your participation has made this event truly meaningful. Thank you all for your time and presence.
పెటాబైట్ అంటే ఇట్లాంటి ఐఫోన్ కనీసం అంటే లక్ష అంటే న్యాచురల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్
చూద్దాం అసలు ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అంటే సపోజ్ నేను పిల్లల దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి చెప్తాను డూ లైక్ దట్ డూ లేదా నాగమణి ఈజ్ దేర్ ఏ టీచర్ అమ్మ ఏంటమ్మా రావట్లేదు చెప్పట్లేదు అని చెప్పినప్పుడు వాట్ యాక్చువల్లీ షీఈస్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సింగ్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ మీరు అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఇట్ మీరు డ్రైవింగ్ ఇట్ కాబట్టి ఐ టు వాక్ విత్ యూ perhaps age maybe plus maybe striving hard about the new technology
mimicking an human body.
Right? Okay. Simple thing. We should not have tekku and nikku, but technique. Technique ఉండాలి. టెక్నిక్ కావాలి కొద్దిగా రాగానే టెక్ ఉంటుంది నిక్ ఉంటుంది ఇదే ప్రపంచం అనుకుంటాం. We want to gauge everyone through our own self understanding, mediocre understanding, substantial low power of this thing. Myself is great. I need to be highlighted. I need to be honored. All these things. Eppudo mediocre. Gone are the days. Gone are the days. Even when I was young, actually I was not a teacher. Sirki మా సెకండ్ సన్ మా పెద్ద అబ్బాయి వచ్చేసరికి నేను 2002 he joined this institution.